The Cursed Herbs Call, The Spirit Beneath the Dark Well. Part 6, The Friend in the Darkness. That afternoon, dark clouds swallowed the sky long before sunset. A blanket of storm clouds rolled over Blackwood, casting the entire town into an eerie twilight. Edward Carter stood in the yard, quietly watching little Ethan play beneath the front porch. One sentence echoed endlessly in his mind. "My brother says he's coming down to play tonight." How could a child barely 18 months old say something like that? The more Edward thought about it, the more uneasy he became. Just then, Lily stepped out of the house. "Mr. Carter, I'm going to the market for a little while. Would you mind watching Ethan for me?" Edward blinked. "Oh, of course." She smiled gratefully before disappearing down Willow Lane. Soon, only Edward and Ethan remained. The little boy sat on the porch, happily playing with an old toy car. Edward suddenly froze. The toy was bright red. One wheel was missing. His throat tightened. It was Noah's toy. He had locked it inside a wooden cabinet 2 years ago. So why was it here? "Ethan, where did you get that?" The little boy looked up, smiled, then pointed toward the back of the house. "My brother gave it to me." An icy chill ran down Edward's spine. "Which brother?" Ethan only smiled again. "My brother." He pointed toward the dark hallway leading to the sealed skylight, then giggled. Edward asked no more questions. He hurried into the living room. The old wooden cabinet still stood against the wall. With trembling hands, he opened it. Empty. The toy car was gone. Edward stood frozen. Outside, Ethan's cheerful laughter drifted through the yard. Giggle, giggle. That night, rain fell steadily. After dinner, the three of them chatted briefly before returning to their rooms. Around 10 o'clock, Lily suddenly rushed into the living room. "Mr. Carter." Edward looked up. "What's wrong? Have you seen my hairbrush?" "No." "That's strange. I left it on the table." Edward shrugged. "Maybe you misplaced it." "Perhaps." She smiled awkwardly before returning to her room. The next morning, she appeared again. "Mr. Carter, have you seen my hairdryer?" "No. I used it just yesterday." Edward shook his head. By noon, a spoon had disappeared. That afternoon, a small frying pan vanished. One by one, ordinary household items simply disappeared. Lily grew increasingly worried. "Do you think there are rats in this house?" Edward forced a smile. "Rats don't steal frying pans." Neither of them laughed. The atmosphere inside the house suddenly felt much heavier. On the third night after Lily and Ethan moved in, another storm arrived. Close to midnight, Lily awoke to the sound of laughter. Giggle, giggle, very soft, coming from inside the room. Her eyes opened. Her heart stopped. Ethan wasn't in bed. He was sitting on the floor, alone, facing the corner of the room, as though someone were sitting across from him. "Ethan," no answer. "What are you doing?" The little boy stretched out his hand, as though offering something to someone. Then he smiled. "For my brother." Lily felt the blood drain from her face. "Ethan, who's there?" Only then did he turn toward her. His eyes sparkled. "My brother." "Which brother?" "The one on the roof." A freezing gust of wind swept through the room. The window rattled softly. Click, click. Lily quickly scooped Ethan into her arms. "There's nobody there." The boy slowly shook his head. "There is." "Who?" He looked toward the window. His tiny voice barely audible. "My brother is standing there." Every hair on Lily's body stood on end. Slowly, she turned toward the window. Outside, there was only darkness and the endless rain. The next morning, things became even stranger. While cleaning the room, Lily knelt to sweep beneath the bed. Suddenly, she screamed, "Mr. Carter!" Edward hurried inside. "What happened?" With shaking hands, Lily pointed underneath the bed. There lay the missing hairbrush, the hairdryer, the frying pan, every single missing item, stacked neatly together, as though someone had hidden them there on purpose. "What?" Edward whispered, before either of them could move. Ethan wandered into the room. He looked beneath the bed, then burst into laughter. "My brother hid them." Silence filled the room. Lily knelt beside him. "What did you say?" "My brother hid them." "Which brother?" The little boy raised one finger, pointing toward the ceiling. "My brother is up there." Both adults slowly looked upward. Only old wooden beams stretched across the ceiling. Nothing else. Yet, Edward suddenly felt unbearably cold. That night, the rain never stopped. A little after midnight, Edward was lying awake when he heard it. Thump, thump, footsteps. Walking across the metal roof, he sat upright immediately. 2 years. After 2 long years, the footsteps had returned. Thump, thump. They stopped directly above Lily's room. Then, a child's laughter. Giggle, giggle. Edward grabbed his flashlight and hurried into the hallway. At that exact moment, Lily's bedroom door burst open. She ran outside carrying Ethan. Her face was completely pale. "Mr. Carter, did you hear that?" Edward nodded. "The footsteps." She shook her head violently. "No, not just that." "What else?" Her lips trembled. "I heard Ethan talking." Edward frowned. "Talking to who?" "Someone else." He remained silent. "There were only the 2 of us in the room." And Lily swallowed hard. "But I heard 2 children's voices. Outside, the wind suddenly roared through the house. The hallway turned ice cold. Then, from inside Lily's dark bedroom, a tiny voice called out, "Mom." Both adults froze. Ethan was still in Lily's arms. Then, who had spoken? "Mom." The voice came again, clearer this time, from inside the empty room. Then, giggle. A child's laughter echoed through the darkness. Almost instantly, running footsteps pounded across the metal roof. Thump, thump, thump. Then, silence. Only the rain continued falling outside. Edward slowly turned toward the end of the hallway. His flashlight trembled in his hand, because, for the first time, he realized something terrifying. Whatever had remained beneath the sealed skylight for the past 2 years might no longer be trapped there.